Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about the moon in the 8th house. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we start, you first want to understand what sign is the moon positioned in. This is very important to understand because the moon is highly adaptable and impressionable. You also want to see, are there any planets conjunct with the moon or aspecting to the moon? Along with this, is the moon hemmed by malefics? This will have a huge impact, especially here in the 8th house. So you want to check to see, are there any planets in the 7th house or in the 9th house that are closely impacting this moon? Also, the most important moment where the moon will become active in your chart is during a moon Mahadasha. So if you have not seen my video on the moon Mahadasha Bhuktis, I will leave a link for that above and down below in the description. So what does the moon represent? The moon represents the mind. It is all about how you think, how you feel, and all of your reactions and responses to the world around you. So the moon is a very emotional planet. It is connected with your memories. It is all about the things that you are connected to as far as your home, your family, your country of origin. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, so it is originally connected with the 4th house of the chart. And so it also represents your relationship with your mother and how healthy that relationship is, along with the health of your mother is seen through the moon as well. The moon is all about your nourishment, your security, your safety and comfort. It is everything that makes you feel secure in life. So what does the 8th house represent? The 8th house is a house of sudden events, of sudden transformations in life. Everything that is taking you through permanent and dramatic situations. And this can be both positive and negative. We can see lottery winnings through this house, or we can see tragic events as well. The 8th house is a house of all sorts of hidden and secretive information. This is a house of astrology, of occult knowledge, of all sorts of mysteries of life. The 8th house also is a house of longevity, so it is directly related to your health and your lifespan as well. Along with this, the 8th house is anything that is shared within a marriage or business situation. So this is your joint finances. This is your marriage that is seen through this house. It is also a house of investments, of stock market, of all sorts of risky ventures around gaining wealth. It is also a house of inheritance and support through the family, along with the in-laws, the family of your spouse as well. So what happens then when the moon comes into the 8th house? Well, this is a very challenging position. The 8th house is the original home of Scorpio, where the moon is debilitated. So the moon is very uncomfortable to be in this house here. This is a very dramatic and intense house where there's a lot of transformation that is occurring. And as I've mentioned before, the moon is all about your safety, your comfort, your security. So the moon is seeking security. So this becomes a bit of a challenging situation. As the moon comes into the 8th house, you can find yourself going through a lot of emotional ups and downs in life. And this can come from your early experience as well, because the moon is directly aspecting onto the 2nd house of the chart, which is connected to your early childhood. So you can have all sorts of dramatic experiences in the earlier part of your life. The moon represents the mother, and coming into this dramatic 8th house situation, the moon has to be really strong here because you can find a lot of challenges and difficulties around your relationship with your mother and even the nourishment that you are receiving from your mother. Sometimes this can be a position that can indicate the death of a mother, separation from a mother, all sorts of situations around adoption. All of this is seen through this position. So this definitely can be a very challenging position in terms of your nourishment and security early on in life. But this moon position also makes you a very strong person because you find yourself going through many emotional and mental battles in life, which makes you stronger and wiser over time. So moon in the 8th house ultimately makes you a survivor, someone who is able to endure the obstacles of life. And this makes you an excellent counselor, a healer, someone who can guide others through their traumas as well. So when the moon comes into the 8th house, this also gives you a great interest into spirituality, into healing, mysticism, all of these subjects. You can be into astrology, into metaphysical healing. Even the medical field can be seen. This 8th house is all about crisis and sudden situations. So you could be in an emergency situation. You could be a doctor, nurse, surgeon with with this position, this definitely is a position where you become someone who is able to help others through their difficulties and challenges in life. Sometimes you can also have health problems of your own as well. This moon here can give you chronic illnesses, all sorts of situations that you deal with all throughout your life. But again, all of this is making you stronger and wiser as you go through these experiences. Sometimes in difficult situations, the moon here can also show a mother who is a bit manipulative or controlling. This scorpionic energy of this 8th house can be seen in this relationship with your mother as well. So this is definitely a position where you can find yourself in a lot of challenges with family. And this can play out both in your early childhood experience, but also in your married life as well. If the moon is in a difficult position in this 8th house, you can have a lot of challenges with your in-laws. The moon, because it is a planet that fluctuates, that goes through these dramatic changes and cycles, you also can see a lot of fluctuation in shared resources. So for some of you, depending upon how this is placed, this is not necessarily the best position for a joint account. This is much better to have your own sense of security. The moon here also can create obstacles around shared resources in business situations, business dealings, working with others. Sometimes this is a position where you want to be very careful about the people who you are getting involved with. Sometimes there are deep-rooted traumas related to your early childhood experience that you have to go through and to really heal from at a deeper level. So there can be all sorts of fears, insecurities, anxiety, depression that is associated with this. Even a sense of loneliness, abandonment that can be seen when the moon comes into the 8th house. Sometimes this can indicate speech problems as well if the moon is badly placed in the chart, as the 2nd house, where the moon aspects to, is all about how you speak. So there can be issues related to this as well. Along with your diet, there can be emotional factors that are connected to your dietary intake, and there can be a lot of fluctuation in wealth in general. So definitely with this position, there's a need for a sense of peace, for meditation, relaxation, yoga, anything that is going to bring your mind into a state of peace. Because definitely this is a position where you can run into a lot of overthinking, a lot of negativity within the mind that can be very disturbing to you. So you want to incorporate some kind of practice of spirituality, calming, meditation. All of this can help you with this position for sure.